This is the video review of the Super Sentai figure Gao King, also known as the Power Rangers Wild Force Megazord in the States. Now, about a year ago now, I started reviewing the Wildforce Megazords, but I didn't get the Wildforce Megazord itself until very recently. Basically, I got the White Tiger, the Red Lion, and the Blue Shark here, because they're the components necessary that I didn't have to make it, because I already had the Black Bison and the Yellow Eagle. Now, my original plan for this was, because of how modular the series was, there are 3 different torsos, 2 different legs, and a bunch of different arm sets, that I would go through and do a video for each combination, but after getting the main sets of components, basically what's necessary for this set, for the Isis Megazord, and for the Kongazord, there really aren't as many combinations as you would think that work, because, like, the bears from the Kongazord don't really fit well on the on this torso. They just look too big for that torso. And then this guy doesn't really work as legs for the Isis Megazord for the Phoenix torso. And then these guys look way too small on any torso except for the Red Lion. So I originally planned on just doing a bunch of videos on this series, one for each combination. I'll probably just do another video sometime soon where I just show why the other combinations don't work. Why the unofficial combinations don't work. Now let's get into the set. The newcomers to my array of these figures, since I already did videos covering this guy and this guy, are the White Tiger, and I hate this one, and there are several reasons for it. One, because this is the shoulder pad right here, but when you plug it into the torso, it hangs down like this, and it ends up not working very well, and then all the parts on this are loose. Now, it's not really a fault of this design, it's just, this is an old set. And then this right here, how the legs transform, really irks me, because you have to just kind of twist it out, and there's just a thin metal rod in there holding it together, and I feel like it's going to break off either by breaking this plastic here or breaking this plastic here, because of how you have to angle it out and leverage it and bend the plastic. And anyway, it looks a little bit better if you have these out, but then it's all wiggly and floppy, and I do not like the White Tiger Megazord very much, or the White Tiger Zord very much. Now, to transform this into the arm configuration, you will push these in like this, and then snap this back. But the problem I have with this, again, is it's really hard, when you don't have the foot out here for leverage, it's really hard to get it out. And I really feel like I'm going to break it. So what I've started doing, instead of folding the arm in like that, is, because I don't care about this Zord in particular, but I do like the overall set, is I just push the arms up like this and fold the foot in like that. It keeps the arms out of the way in the Megazord mode, and it means I don't have to fiddle with that potentially breakable joint. And then these will fold up, and by the way, if you haven't noticed, this is a relatively posable figure. Its head can turn, its mouth opens and closes, it can look up and down, then there are all the joints in the legs I've shown, and then it has this joint here, and that is a nice ratchet. Anyway, you will bring this forward to form the shoulder piece, and then you will push these die-cast bits together. Fold the tail down, fold this to the side, and here you have an arm. I'll set this off to the side. Next we have the Blue Shark, and I was not expecting to like this one very much, because I usually don't like submarine Zords, underwater Zords, because, well, we're terrestrial animals. We don't have much at stake in the waters that's really important to us. I mean, I know environmentalism and all that stuff, but as far as just fiction is concerned, a submarine's not going to be able to protect a human settlement as well as a lion or a bison or some sort of land or flying thing. But I do like the way this looks. It's a nice, mean, vicious-looking shark without looking villainous. It has a nice sheen on it, and I just like the sculpting. It has wheels on it, and wheels here, and that allows it to... It rolls okay. It's got a die-cast bits in here, and what I really like about this is it can bend from side to side, so it can do a shark swimming motion. Now to transform this into the arm, you will push up this landing gear, fold the fins in, and you will pull the torso out like this, and that will allow it to bend back and forth more. Now the thing is, this actually pulls out twice, but I know that the previous owner of this did not catch that, because when I first tried to pull it apart, it was super hard. I thought I was going to break it. But it really does improve the range of motion if you pull it out twice. So if you have this figure and you miss that, that helps the figure quite a bit. Then this is the hand. And then this sword here, this tail here is a sword. It connects into the hand by this little thing here, but it's not really a solid connection. I typically just leave this back here so I don't lose it, but I'll show the sword off in the combined robot mode in a minute. I'll set this off to the side. Next is the Black Bison. I've already covered this several times before, so I'll just go through this real quick. I really like the transformation on this guy. He's a brick, but he's a good brick. One thing I like about bricks is that they tend to have neat transformations, because the reason they're bricks is because they have to do something neat that involves a whole body, as opposed to, say, that guy over here who's a brick but doesn't really do anything that neat. He doesn't neat things in conjunction with the torsos, but just by himself he doesn't have a neat transformation. So here are the legs. I will set them off to the side. Now these two guys, to transform this guy, you basically have to combine him with this guy. So I'll show off how the torso transformation works. Excuse me. Now the first thing you'll do is you'll pull these out to the side, and then you will take these, fold them back, fold these up into the body, and then what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of tension on the body by forcing the leg in like this, where normally it would just sit like that. I like to do this to it because it makes the parts hold together a lot better, because the joints on this guy, because his legs have a lot of joints in them, but because it's old, they're kind of loose. Then fold that back, and you'll see why I do that in a bit. Do the same to the other side. Fold this down, and then here is the basic torso. Now to combine it with this guy, you want to fold this up, fold these up, bring these forward, and then you'll see there are little nubs in here and in here, and they will grab onto the bird's thighs here. And as you do that, his mane will start to press down and his head will start to push forward. And then this head will join with the lion head, and then the wings will collapse around the mane. And I really like that effect. Then you will turn the head around, and here's the torso unit. Now we can start putting this guy together. Now the way this connects is there are two tabs here and here, and clips here and here, and then there's a little overhang here that will grab around this edge here. And the way you're going to do is you're going to make sure that these bits right here end up in this crevice right here, otherwise it won't fit right. And you will press it down here, and then you will clip it together like that. So there should be 3 connection points when you're done. Now we're starting to get the guy. Take the arms and put them on. And this is Gao King all put together, and I really like the way he looks. Now the reason why I had the arm connections go back is, well, when they're forward like this, he just looks kind of static. He doesn't look bad, but he looks static. One problem that happens is that these fins here will collide with the mane, and I just like the look of it better with the arms pushed back. It looks more dynamic. And with Super Sentai, because Power Rangers and Super Sentai figures just typically aren't very posable, anything to look dynamic is good in my book. Now for posability, you don't get any head posability because it's his crown that turns, not the actual face. but you can make them look up and down. The arms can rotate around like this, and if I didn't have this angled back, then they can go around 360. But I do like how he does sort of have a bit of a pectoral joint in here, because that is kind of posability too. Arms go around like this, and yeah, that's the problem I was talking about earlier with the thigh there. This will bend quite a bit at the elbow. And then you get a rotating wrist and an opening and closing mouth. Now for the shark here, it's a bit different because you get a bicep swivel, which is great for wielding the sword, and you get a an elbow like you did on this side, but you don't get a wrist swivel. And if he had a bicep swivel and a wrist swivel, this would be a pretty nice sword wielding hand. Now pop this out, and I do like the look of him with without the tail there because it makes the shoulders look symmetrical, basically. But I mean, the sword's just real rinky-dinky. It doesn't work very well, and when you plug it in here, it makes the mouth there go wide. And I like the Shark Zord, but I don't like how the weapon is executed. That's why I typically leave it back there. And my final thoughts on this is, I like Gao King a lot. I like, or the Wildforce Megazord a lot. I like it better than the Kongazord and the Isis Megazord, and part of the reason why is because the Red Lion is the best torso. The transformation is interesting, but it's not a pain, because the Phoenix Megazord, I think that's what it's called, is just so big and cumbersome that it's just really not fun to wield, and then the Green Ape Megazord, or the Green Ape Zord, is just really annoying because of how it combines with the red, with the Yellow Eagle. But the way that these guys combine is just very nice, it's very simple, it's very easy, and overall it's just a fun, nice-looking set, and I think the Wildforce Megazord is the best of the Wildforce Megazords. Actually, there is one last problem I have with them, but it's, if you look at his face here, you can't really see his eyes very well. Even with where the camera is close to his eye level, they look overshadowed, and when you're just sitting at a desk or at a table or something messing with this guy, you cannot see his eyes, so while he looks like he's looking forward, or while he is looking forward, he looks like he's looking down, so oftentimes I'll have his head look back like that, but that still doesn't work very well because it looks back way too much, because this joint here is ratcheted, so the head has a problem with it. I don't quite know how to fix that because I don't want to open up the eagle here and mess up the ratchet mechanism or lose a pin or something. Actually, I don't think I can open it without taking out a pin, so yeah, that's really the biggest flaw I have with it, the head there, aside from how crappy this thing is by itself. And yeah, that's been my video review of the Power Rangers Wildforce Megazord. I review Power Rangers, Transformers, just lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.